Hello all and welcome back to another wonderful video. Today I'm here in my closet again talking about Call of Duty. That's right, we're going to be talking about Call of Duty maps in particular. Now, every year the Call of Duty community seems to ask for old maps to be added to the game. Versus, adding new maps. They're like, oh, let's get these old maps, they were really fun back in the day. Let's get those, bring those to the game. They do that every single year with whatever the current Call of Duty is. Right now the current Call of Duty is Call of Duty Modern Warfare, so everyone's asking for old Modern Warfare maps to be added to the game, and Activision seems to be listening. They've added Rust recently. They've added some other maps and stuff like that, like Crash and stuff like that. These maps, while they can be fun, it's just so dumb in my opinion that people want these old maps versus a new map, something that would give us a new experience. Without new maps, we will never get another classic like Newtown, Rust, Slums, what have you. We just won't get those new experiences. These new maps can become classics if we give them the chance to become that. If we give them the chance to become a classic, we can make them a classic if we just give the new maps a chance. If we ask for more new maps, we have the chance to get these new experiences that could even triumph something like Rust. We don't know, because we're not giving the developers a chance. We're seeing these new maps, or we're not asking for these new maps, and we're just asking for the old maps and demanding old maps, and then sometimes we get these old maps and we just don't like them. Give the developers a chance to make a map that will become a classic. Give them a chance to give us a new experience, because like Green Eggs and Ham taught us, we won't know if we like it until we try it. So new maps to me aren't just any map that is added to the game. Like if it's just some map that's added to the game, sure, it's technically new to that game, but to me, a new map is something that no one's ever played on before other than playtesters, that sort of thing. A new map to me is something that gives us a new experience, something that we haven't seen before in any other Call of Duty game before it. Asking for the old maps is like trying to tell the developers that the current maps are terrible and that anything they make is going to turn out terrible and that we're going to hate whatever they make unless it's an old game, an old map from an older title or something like that. And that's not good. That's not the case. It's not the case. These old maps can be just as bad as the new maps. The new maps can be just as good as the old maps. We won't know unless we give them that chance. Infinity Ward did a very good job with the maps in Modern Warfare. There's a lot to learn about each of them and a lot to love about each of them. There's so many lines of sight. There's so many ways to play it. Every single map seems to have this replayability that I've not really seen in a Call of Duty in quite some time. The maps, not all of them are best. I'm kind of looking at Piccadilly when I say that, but some of the maps aren't the best, but if we give them the chance, we can learn them and give an opinion about them. We can learn what's good about them and learn what's bad about them, and then hone in our opinions and say, do this for the next map and don't do this for the next map, instead of saying, hey, don't make a new map, give us an old map, because we know we're going to like those. We're trying to play it too safe with the maps instead of giving the developers a chance to shine and give us something new. I personally think that Hackney Yard itself is a classic, or has the potential to become a classic, but because everyone is so quick to hate the new maps and quick to love the old ones, it will never be a classic because it will never get that chance. None of the maps in Modern Warfare will ever get that chance, because we just push them to the side and immediately ask for the older maps. The old maps might seem simple enough to us to just add to the game, so some of you may argue that, oh, it's just simple, they just port over a couple assets and boom, we're done. But it's not really that simple. There's a lot more that has to come into it. Some of these maps will have to not only port the old assets, but they'll have to, retexture them, stuff like that. In some cases, they might actually have to recreate entire assets. I'm not sure, but that could be the case. Depending on what kind of Call of Duty it was from, they might have to remake old assets. I don't really know, but they still have to, retexture them and everything like that. They have to make them fit into the current Call of Duty, because sometimes the themes are different. Sometimes they have to go through and add new additions or remove old ones, because not every Call of Duty is the same. They also have to test, or at least they should test, these older maps in this new game, because not every Call of Duty has played the same. Some of them are really fast-paced, some of them are a little bit more slow-paced, and some of them you can walk on walls or jump really, really high on jetpacks and stuff. They have to make sure those work in these new games. For example, in Infinite Warfare, I think we ended up getting a DLC map or something like that ended up was like a remake of an old map, and it didn't really work out very well because, you know, you had all the jetpacking and stuff like that. And that's my point exactly. They're not always going to work out just because you ported over an old map. Some of them are fast, some of them are slow, some of them you can jetpack around in, like I said. So adding old maps take time from the developers that could be used in giving us something better. We could get something better if we, you know, encourage the developers to give us new maps instead of making them spend time on retexturing and re-importing and tweaking other old maps and moving those to the game. But back to every COD plays different. Some old maps just can't work in other Call of Duty titles. Old Call of Duty games like Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 1, 2, and 3 play extremely slow. Now, you may say, no, it didn't play slow, it played fast. Well, actually, like, seriously, go back and play them. You move extremely slow. Your running is actually really slow compared to current Call of Duty. It just feels a lot slower. It feels a lot clunkier in some ways. Mantling itself is just vastly different. Like, it seems like it takes forever to mantle over something, and while that and the speed thing may seem like it's not a big deal, it can feel like it's taking forever to mantle over something, and it's a big deal. It changes how the maps play. You know, if it takes me a little bit longer to mantle over something, then if someone's coming around the corner to try and shoot me, then if I can't mantle over that fast enough and escape, then I'm going to die. If I know someone's across the other side of this wall and I try and mantle over it, and it takes me forever to go across it, then that person may have left. So the game kind of changes when you do this. When you put an old map into a new game, the experience is going to be different. It's not necessarily going to be that classic feeling. You can't get that classic feeling back, and you just might end up with something terrible or something that you just hate, like so many people hated Shipment. I think, in my opinion, they actually did a pretty good job with Shipment. You know, the spawns are messed up, but that's not the map itself. The map itself, I think, is good. I love the way they added some of the way that you can climb onto some of the shipping containers and stuff like that. But that, I don't like Shipment anyway, but that was probably my favorite Shipment, if I'm being honest, just because they added an extra layer of being able to like climb up on some of the shipping containers and stuff like that. But not everyone liked that. Everyone hated that for some reason. And that feeds into my point. These classic maps can be brought into a newer title and everyone hates it, or a lot of people hate it, or some people just dislike it. I see a lot of people hating Shipment when it doesn't really deserve it. It's technically half new because they actually changed quite a bit about it, just in terms of being able to go onto like a second layer and everything like that. Just because the map was good in Black Ops 2 or MW2 or MW3 doesn't mean it will be in every COD. It doesn't mean it's going to be good in every single Call of Duty. Let the developers try new things. Let them make new classics instead of forcing them to remake the old ones. It's time to stop living in the past and start embracing the future and current state of Call of Duty. Or else we'll all just basically become the boomers of the COD community if we keep asking for the old maps and saying, you know, back in my day, Call of Duty was a lot better. You know, Call of Duty is still good. The numbers don't lie. It's still selling extremely well. It's still the most popular franchise in the world right now. Kind of, not really, but you get my point. It sells like it's the best-selling game every single year. Top 5 or whatever. But if we keep saying that the old Call of Duties are better, we're never going to get a better Call of Duty, because they're going to continuously bring in old maps and we're never going to get that new classic experience. But anyway, that's going to do it for the video. I hope you enjoyed. I really wanted to rant about this because honestly, I hear this so often. Every single time I'm watching something on YouTube about Call of Duty, people are like, oh my god, I can't wait till we get Rust. I can't wait till they add this, or I think they should add this. I think they should add this. And they're all very old maps that haven't been played for a very long time, that could potentially be a very terrible map in the current state of Call of Duty, or the current game of Call of Duty, just different stuff like that. It just really irritates me. So yeah, that's gonna do it for the video. So I do hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy, please like, subscribe, share, do those wonderful things, because when you do those wonderful things, you get access to wonderful content such as this. But that's not all you get. That's not all you get. You also get to become wonderful yourself, and I think we all want that. So do those wonderful things, and until next time, stay wonderful.